The Hisense 43A71F from their new A71 series has a 43-inch 4K panel in addition to having really good hardware and software features, and it supports HDR, Dolby Vision and Dolby Atmos, and all these numbers and features are something that I really wasn't expecting to see on paper for a price point of just 24,990 rupees. But we'll have to check how well it performs in the real world, because on paper it really looks like a deal that is too good to be true. And there is really a lot to cover in this video because this TV offers a lot more features than I was prepared to cover. Hey guys, I am Siddharth and let's get started. If you don't already know about Hisense, they have just entered in the Indian market with the launch of this A71 series, but they are actually quite well established in the world and they have launched some really high-end stuff like world's first 8K 10-bit HDR dual-cell TV, and you can also check the reviews they have been getting in countries like US on Amazon.com. Even when I received this TV, I got a call for installation, so I inquired about the service centers and they do actually have it here already in my city of Udaipur in Rajasthan, where some other popular brands don't have service centers. So it is really great that they already have a well-established service network in India. We have Mr. Anil with us, who is a professional unboxer, and you are also going to have someone sent to your location for installation when you buy it. Even without help, the installation on a table is very simple, as you just have to install these stands and put it on the table. One great addition they have here is that they provide the wall mount in the box, so you won't have to pay 600 rupees extra to buy it separately like with some other brands. After that, the setup is also very simple as it is an Android TV and you can just use your phone to quickly set it up by following the instructions on the screen. The design of the TV is pretty good. It does have thin bezels which make it look nice, and while the rest of the design elements are pretty standard in this range, the clever integration of the body with the panel does make it look modern. On the left side, you have easy access to most of the ports. So you have an optical out port for audio, a port for internet via Ethernet cable, you have two USB 2.0 ports, three HDMI 2.0 ports with one of them supporting HDMI ARC, and then a 3.5mm jack for headphone or speakers. And finally the antenna port for a cable connection if you have that. The component ports are on the backside of the panel, so they won't be very easy to access if you have it mounted on a wall, but I am guessing most people won't need to use this. You also have a physical button under the TV which you can use to power it on or off or for switching the inputs. Coming to the display quality, I am 100% satisfied with it, but first we will discuss what makes it so perfect. So you have different color profiles that you typically see on TVs, and the profiles like dynamic and even standard are kind of too saturated for my taste, but what surprised me was that they have also included a calibrated color profile, and when you select it, the colors do look very accurate and balanced. And you can go a step further and tweak the contrast, saturation and adjust the color temperature. So I boost the blue channel a bit to make it cooler, and then I finally reach to a look that I find to be perfect. This is such an important feature to have for people who don't like the oversaturated look that TVs generally have, and I really appreciate the fact that they offer such an advanced and granular control over these settings. So the colors are just perfectly saturated for me, and on a hardware level the panel is also very capable. The contrast is surprisingly good, the viewing angles are also great, and you are not going to see any color or contrast shift while being off center. The backlight uniformity is also really good, and you are not going to notice any unevenness with the video content on this TV. If I had to nitpick, I would mention that there is a visible gap between the backlight and the display panel if you get really close and look at an angle, but this isn't visible even on close viewing distances. It is a 43-inch panel and 4K resolution is very high for a panel of this size. You might think that you would need a bigger panel to enjoy 4K, but you can also just move closer to it and fill your field of vision, and even from a distance 4K looks way better. Not all content is available in 4K, so 1080p is also going to look really great on a panel of this size. I will also mention the price of bigger sized panels in this series later on. They also have a UHD upscaler, smooth motion option for sports, and some noise reduction features, but the more important part is that the raw performance of this panel is good. The display has an almost glossy coating which is slightly matte if you wanted to know about that. This TV also supports HDR, HDR10 Plus, HLG decoding and Dolby Vision, which I don't think other TVs have in this range. We don't have any kind of local dimming on the panel, and this isn't an OLED, so you are not going to have the same HDR experience as the super expensive 2 lakh rupees TVs. But I tested different HDR content on it and it looks pretty good. And even without local dimming, the contrast is very good. They have some software algorithm that adjusts the contrast curves for HDR, so that seems to be working well. So you are going to get good compatibility with HDR titles and even games, so that is nice. Speaking of games, one of the things that makes TVs less suitable for gaming with a PlayStation or PC compared to monitors is their input lag, which is the latency between a computer sending the frame to the TV through HDMI and the TV actually displaying it. TVs generally have a high input lag, which creates a delay between you pressing a button in the game and the action appearing on the screen. This TV has a game mode, and even without activating it, it has very low input lag, but after activating the game mode, its performance is on a totally another level. I tested it with a duplicated display with my 4K monitor, and the performance in gaming was really outstanding, as it felt like the gunshots were instantly activating with my mouse click. But then I recorded it at 120 fps slow motion with my camera, and what I found was that the TV actually had slightly lower input lag than my monitor. Now this is not a gaming monitor, but the fact that a TV in this price range can beat a regular monitor is really surprising, and my mind was totally blown away by this. Also keep in mind that this is with a 4K 60Hz RGB signal, which is uncompressed. So if you are looking for a TV to use with your PlayStation, Xbox or PC, this will be really perfect for that purpose, and you can even play FPS games on it without a problem. Also make sure that you are subscribed to the channel with bell icon, because I have some really exciting PC content coming up this month. The remote was another pleasant surprise on this TV. Unlike the minimalist approach by some other brands here, this remote has many buttons that are actually useful, so you won't have to get frustrated trying to do everything with 3 or 4 buttons, and the bigger size also fits in the hands better. Not only do we have dedicated buttons for Netflix and Amazon Prime, but we also have them for Hotstar and YouTube, which I really liked. And finally, we also have a dedicated button for switching inputs, which is extremely useful. In addition to the mute button, the remote also has a button to turn off the backlight, which is another very useful addition because you can turn off the display while listening to music or watching podcasts on YouTube. Sending the TV to sleep state also requires only a single button press, which is also nice because it will wake it up instantly. I think that the remote also has additional functionality to integrate it with a set-top box or use it with a cable connection, but I don't have a cable connection, so I couldn't test that. The TV comes with Android TV 9.0 installed, and that is really great. You have the familiar Android TV interface, which works well, and the nice thing about it is that you have access to all the apps and games in the Google Play Store, and you can sideload any app from the USB. And as I talked about earlier, there are some additional features in the software which I have not seen on other Android TVs before. You also of course have Google Assistant, which you can access by pressing the dedicated button on the remote, and you can use it to do Google Assistant things like quick searches on web or for finding content on different platforms, and the voice commands are easy to use as the remote has a mic. The TV also has Chromecast built in, so you can cast online content directly from your phone, and it also has a screen mirroring feature which lets you mirror your phone screen on the TV. In addition to Netflix, Amazon Prime and other streaming apps, you can also play content directly from pendrive with VLC player, install browsers to browse websites on TV, amongst other things that are typical for smart TVs. It also comes with dual band Wi-Fi, so you can also connect it to your 5 GHz Wi-Fi network, which is awesome. And it also comes with Bluetooth, which I just consider to be critical in a smart TV. So you can use all your Bluetooth speakers, headphones, use Bluetooth keyboards, mouse, gamepads, so they really haven't skipped on anything to achieve this low price point. Coming to sound quality, it is really good for a TV. You have two 12-watt speakers and they get really loud with plenty of headroom for videos with low volume. The TV also supports Dolby Atmos even with the inbuilt speakers, and it does work well as it improves the sound when you enable it. In addition to great performance by the speakers, you also get very good control over the sound of the TV. So you have settings for a better sound when the TV is wall mounted, and there are different profiles including one for use with headphones. You also have an equalizer, which is nice to see, and it also has additional features for lip sync and audio delay adjustments, so you shouldn't have any issues with the audio video sync, which could be extremely helpful. Overall, you are getting a really great sound experience, and I don't think that you will need to use a soundbar or external speakers if you are only watching movies or TV shows. The performance is also pretty good. You have very adequate horsepower for everything that you will do on TV. It has a quad-core processor that handles things well, and I didn't face slowdowns while switching between apps. You have 2 GB of RAM on board, which is good to have in this segment, and 11 GB of available internal storage is also higher than what I have seen on other devices like Fire Stick and competing TVs. The Mali 470MP GPU will also allow you to play 2D games very well, and you can even play some graphic intensive 3D games at lower settings. The TV can really play every codec you throw at it, so it will play VP9 4K 60fps HDR video on YouTube and so on. So you really don't need any other external device like Fire Stick or a TV box for anything, which is great. So looking at all the features and performance, the price tag of around 25,000 is really amazing. I really thought that there will be some compromises in some areas, but this TV has delivered in every area very well and even exceeded my expectations with how much control it provides over the hardware and software. The input lag for games being lower than my monitor was also something that I really wasn't prepared for, especially at this price. And overall, I really don't know of any other TVs that come close to it in this price range. Another great news is that the pricing on the bigger size versions of this TV is also really amazing. So the 50-inch version is available at 31,000 rupees, the 55-inch version at 35,000 rupees, which I think is the sweet spot. There are also going to be discounts from 1,000 rupees to 2,000 rupees during the first 3 days of the sale from 6th to 9th August, and they are also offering a 5-year warranty on the panel in this period. And getting 5-year warranty on the panel is actually really cool because that is the most crucial part of the TV. So if you are planning to buy this and you are watching it on these dates, then I would highly recommend that you buy it today. I haven't tried the bigger versions, but I am assuming that they will also offer a similar or better performance in comparison, so I think that they will also be a great purchase. So I'll have links to both Amazon and Flipkart in the video description, so you can check the details and pricing. In addition to Amazon and Flipkart, it will also be available to purchase from Reliance Digital and Tata Click stores, so you can buy from the store of your choice. So that was it for this video. Let me know your thoughts about it in the comment section below. Give this video a thumbs up if you liked it or a thumbs down if you disliked it. Subscribe with bell. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next one.